Regrets! We've all had them, right? Wish you could go back and change something, do something different? Well, in this episode of Bock's Life, we're going to talk about regrets. Why and how I don't have any, and why, if I had a time machine, I'd just end up selling it for parts on eBay. So regret, that feeling of sadness or disappointment over something that we did or didn't do, like a missed opportunity. We feel bad because we feel like we were wrong, something some of us may or may not have a hard time accepting, and we feel like we could have done things differently or better. So to tackle our regrets, let's first take a moment to understand them better. So in a study published in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, which did a meta-analysis on other research along with their own research, they looked into what we regret the most and why. They found that the things that we regret the most are education by far, followed by career, romance, and parenting behind that, with self and leisure with less significant percentages. Somehow, even farther down the list was health, something I found amusing and the most American thing ever. The study also talked about how we regret the things that we have the most opportunity to change. Education is the highest on that list because, at least in American culture, education is almost always an available option and always held in high regard. That's one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of making learning a lifelong endeavor that doesn't stop after high school or college. The study also found that regrets of inaction last longer than those of action. Should have chased that career, should have went to school, should have pursued that relationship, maybe a different one than you're already in, are more imaginatively open to questions of what if that can leave us pondering for a lifetime. Whereas physical actions and decisions have more obvious consequences and results and are less open to that interpretation. So if you're a person with regrets, I have a question for you. What does dwelling on your mistakes and investing all this time, energy, and negative emotions do to improve your life? See, this thing here, this little fuzzy cover on the microphone, they call this a dead cat. If you had an answer other than nothing, it probably sounded something like an excuse or feeling bad for yourself. Regrets are nothing more than an attempt to make past decisions with present knowledge. Let me repeat that. Regrets are nothing more than an attempt to make past decisions with present knowledge. And that's important, because you can think that you could have made a different decision all you want now, but chances are you didn't know better and you couldn't have realized the potential consequences of your actions at that moment. Therefore, you could not have made a different decision. It's a lot like a math equation. Think of these as your knowledge and circumstances at a given moment. And this, what you did in that moment. No matter what, given these numbers, they're always going to add up to this answer. Similarly, given this set of knowledge and circumstances, you're always going to make the same decision. The only way to have made a different decision would have been to have a different set of numbers, or knowledge, which you couldn't have. You're just trying to think of that problem in that context, given your present knowledge. A philosophy I've had for a very long time, and one of the reasons I've mostly been pretty good about regrets, though some women in my life have definitely put a damper on me being totally good, is simply that we are a product of all the experiences and decisions that we've made. Do I have things that I look back on and think that I could have done better? Yes, of course I do. However, besides that being the feeble act of trying to make past decisions with present knowledge, the culmination of all of those experiences and decisions have been what have made me, me. Some of the biggest things that I look back on and question myself about are my past relationships. I've walked away from a relationship with a woman who did some incredible selfless things to help me chase my dreams. I've also been walked away from, and have lived for a long time with that feeling of the one who got away. So trust me, I'm nowhere near perfect. A Bock's Life is about a journey to discuss and improve my own shortcomings as much as it is to help others. However, I'm extremely proud of that person that I've become over time. And while not everyone will say that they're proud of who they are, most people will agree that they are good, well-intentioned people. And being a good person is something to be proud of in itself. To change the experiences and decisions of my past means to change who I am. That means throwing out your experiences, throwing out your learning opportunities. It means throwing out what has made you, you. And while you might think that changing things from your past might improve your life, what if it did the complete opposite? What if you ran into a future situation without the knowledge from your past and it turned out to be disastrous? Sometimes right and wrong decisions aren't that black and white, and we need a few of those wrong decisions to be a better person. It's extremely easy to look back at those past relationships and question my decisions or if I could have done better. And the answer is no. I did what I could with the knowledge and experiences that I had at the time. At some point, you have to accept the cards you've been dealt in life, trust in, or at least accept the decisions you've made, and close that chapter. Because you can't move on to the next chapter and look forward to the even better things in your future without closing the last one. Use regrettable decisions of the past as learning opportunities for the future. Quit dwelling on them and accept responsibility for the fact that you are the only person who can change your life for the better from this moment on. You can either accept responsibility for your life's decisions and do something about it, or continue making excuses, feeling sorry for yourself, and going down the same miserable path. But I digress. That's a topic for one of our future videos. The nature of humanity is often to make mistakes. Unlike the perfect pictures that everyone likes to paint on social media, everyone has made wrong decisions in their lives. However, the key is to realize how fruitless wasting your time on regret is. With your head in the past, you can't move your present in a positive direction to change the course of your future. Realize that you did the best that you could in those moments, learn from those moments, and move on so that you can make the best of your present moments. Well, that's it for today. If you like this video and you want more, give it a like, comment, share, whatever. Just let it know that you want more, and I'd be happy to make another video on the subject. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's any points that I missed or could do better on, please let me know. And remember that you can find A Box Life on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, and soon, iTunes and the Google Play Store. Thank you, everyone. Get out and adventure, and I'll see you again soon. Test. Yeah, we're good. If I had a time machine, why I just sold them me? Right, let's just go for it. So regret. That feeling of sadness over... followed by... energy and negative emotions due to help improve your life. What does energy and negative emotions do to help improve your life? That's a heck of a line. Energy and negative emotions. So close. Meow. They call this a dead cat. Not to be mistaken with dead mouse. And didn't understand the potential consequences of... I've also been walked away from because someone didn't share my sense of humor and found my Snapchats way less than amusing. That's a rat.